movie audiences first saw Robert Duvall on film 20 years ago in To Kill a Mockingbird as Boo Radley. 30 films later, Vincent Canby wrote in the New York Times, "It's about time to recognize Robert Duvall as one of the most resourceful, most technically proficient, most remarkable actors in America today. I think he may well be the best we have, the American Olivier." And we'll be right back with Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall is with us. One of the projects and one of the things in 1983 is your performance as Bill Viggers in Terry Fox, the movie. And when I think of all the men you have created on film, have you ever been in a position before where you have met the person you are portraying? Because you did meet Bill Viggers briefly, didn't you?
Right, I did. I may have, but I can't recall. I may have. I would probably have to say no, but there may have been a time, but I would say no at the moment.
Was it an advantage or a disadvantage, Bob, to meet the man you were creating for you?
It was neither, in a way, as maybe a strange answer. I mean, I talked with the man for like an hour, and I tried to get certain things which he was certainly willing to give, certain bits of data or information, and then I went away and just did it. So I didn't really think like about this guy that much that I was playing, you know. It was just another part, although, you know, it's beneficial. I think it would have been, not to minimize his importance in this overall project, I mean, it would be much more exciting, say, to meet Jesse James if you were playing Jesse James, you know.
Which you did.
Which yeah, or something like that, you know. I think, because Jesse James, you know, is like a legend. Many rural people in America, he's almost more popular than George Washington. But it was beneficial to meet Bill Viggers, naturally. But then once I did it, then it was in motion, and I didn't think too much about it.
I ask you that over Terry Fox, the movie, because you're the actor who is always given the kind of credit you're given because your characters have a past, because there are nuances, there are subtleties, there are, as critics have pointed out, it goes beyond mannerisms. Robert Duvall gives us a character with a past. And while you can mention Jesse James, or I can talk about your preparation for your terrific performance as Dr. Watson in the 7% Solution, one of, along with Herbert Ross's Pennies from Heaven, the most underrated movies anybody in America, in my opinion, ever did. But your work with Nicol Williamson, and what you said about Dr. Watson, I mean, here you were, you are a tennis buff, an athlete, a man with outside interest, and you said, hold it, Dr. Watson was an athlete. He was this and he was that.
Yeah.
And
like
that's,
an ex-second level, maybe rugby player, someone that played in the public school.
But with Bill Viggers, there you are coming in with your creation of a man's past, and my curiosity was, just a minute, you met the real guy.
Maybe if I had more time, and maybe if the character developed more as a character, you know, study, then I would have probably, and had more time, you know, say the lead in the project where there was more emphasis on that character, then I probably would have tried to spend much more time with someone like Bill Viggers and really doing an in-depth kind of survey or study of him. But it was a kind of thing that, you know, the part really didn't need as much research as, say, if I do the part of the Pope, say, then I really got to do some homework, you know. But it was an enjoyable experience working up here. You know, I enjoyed it very much working in Toronto.
Bob, when you work with a young man like Eric Fryer, and you have the reality of his situation, that he does indeed have the disease that brought about the tragic death of the character he is playing, that he is a young man who is not an actor. There was no Sandy Meisner, no Neighborhood Playhouse. Here he is playing something so close to life, which he must have done with a degree of tentativeness that could only come from the reality of it, not the character's past and not the screenplay. Are you leaned upon? Are you working harder with this young man, letting him know that he can do it? And how do you help him? in scenes
yeah,
together?
you work a little harder, but it's not really work. It's more fun in a way. You know, you try the same way when I work with De Niro. He likes and Johnny Voight. A lot of people, I like it too. Off camera, you know, off camera you change. You're always changing. A lot of actors won't go for that because they want things more set. But like the way I try to work with Eric, and it in turn helped me because it helped keep things fresh. I like to work with De Niro and all of them. You know, off camera you change the lines, you change. You know, you can do anything off camera because that sound isn't recorded except when the close-up goes on you or the medium shot goes on you. So you can change it. You can call somebody by their real name. You can say your dog died yesterday or what's wrong. You know, you can do anything to throw in legitimate surprises, to keep a person legitimately off balance. And that's nice because I worked that way, and it helped him, and it certainly helped me too, to keep a freshness. So it's the first time something's being said or thought, and real thoughts happen sometimes when you change the text itself off, not on camera. So it was interesting working that way, and I like to work that way to keep things fresh. So working with a beginner or an open-minded seasoned pro is somewhat similar, ultimately.
Were you aware of the phenomenon in the country of Canada over the Terry Fox story before the script arrived?
Well, I was somewhat ignorant of that wonderful story, that tragic story, and of course I was eager to learn once I knew that I was going to play the part or before even, and then I did learn through the stories and hearsay and the documentary on the real Terry Fox, but I didn't know a lot about it beforehand, no. But beautiful story.
When you talk that way about the exchange and the surprises, and I remember having a conversation recently with Jerry Lewis, who was talking about Robert De Niro.
I heard about that. He got a little ethnic off camera.
A little ethnic.
A little.
Jerry Lewis said he was standing there in character playing Jerry Langford, who was Jerry Lewis on one level, yeah, while Robert De Niro was hurling anti-Semitic remarks at him. And Jerry Lewis said the anger was building to such a degree that it frightened him, because he was trying to control it, yeah, and he said it was Jerry Lewis controlling Jerry Langford, wanting to strangle Robert De Niro as Rupert Pupkin.
It's all the same, really. Ultimately, it's all the same.
Then he said when he saw it on the screen, when he saw the scene, he was twice as frightened watching it as he had been acting it.
Yeah, right. Well, it made him very loose and, you know, and very in touch with himself. It's like a lighter version to that when we were doing True Confessions. Every time a black girl would walk by dinner, it would be like this. Finally I said to him, I said, "What's it like being married to a black woman? I think I'm too prejudiced to be married to a black woman." He laughed.
Diane Abbott was not there at the time.
No. You know, with some of my past, I would probably something I might not do. You know, although it's funny because but we had a laugh over that. Yeah.
All right. On that, we'll take another break. Be right back with Robert Duvall.